Hey, how's it going? I hope you're doing good. So I'm here today and in Sun Valley, Idaho, and I'm roasting some peppers. So I've got some peppers in the oven. They have about 8 minutes left in the oven, and I'm just sort of roasting these peppers at sort of a low temperature. I didn't cook them for too long, but what I felt is that if you roast the peppers, it kind of makes them like get kind of a spicy flavor that's not so hot, spicy. So it's a full flavor spice. I know that, and I don't know this exactly, but I thought that. Like red bell peppers and stuff is roasted and dried to make. I thought it was to make paprika, but let me see here if that's right. What pepper is roasted to make paprika? Roasted peppers, let's see. Paprika is typically made from bell or sweet type peppers. Milder varieties that contain a recessive gene that eliminates or greatly reduces capsaicin, the compound responsible for heat. Pepper plants are typically grown from seedlings in a nursery before being transported to the field. So, So they said, okay, so here's something with a tweet from, well, paprika has recently blown up on Twitter as people have been discovering what the spice is really made of. Somebody's tweet went viral earlier this week for its revelation that paprika is in fact made from crushed red bell peppers. That's SimSimMaz, SIMSIMMAAZ, Twitter user. Their tweet. And so it's kind of good to know where all the spices come from. Some of them are just, they say the name of the herb or the spice that it's from, or the plant, herb or plant. So one of the things I thought about is that sometimes I eat peppers and they don't have a lot of the capsaicin in it. And so the idea was if I roast the peppers, and get them I kind of like them with a little bit of, kind of smoky to them. This temperature is not that high. And I thought about doing them for a really long period of time. 6 or 8 hours roasting them. But I've only done these for about 2.5 hours. And what I'll do is I'll take one out. I think I did this like maybe a year ago or so. And I just put them on like a burrito taco that I make. And I just kind of eat them warm, hot on the burrito taco. Basic microwave. I have the meat I've already cooked. And I guess it's kind of an alternative to salsa. Because a lot of the salsa and a lot of the stuff I find has like almost like raw jalapeno added to it, and it really that capsaicin from the jalapeno really makes the heat go way up. And so I thought, if, like a lot of times it seems like the whole salsa is like a lot of the salsa sort of it is most of it is roasted, but then the jalapeno is just maybe just sliced, chopped raw in there, and the capsaicin goes way up. And so, I like sometimes eating things that are spicy, but I don't like the heat to be really high. And so part of what I thought was, why don't I roast peppers, and then I can slice the peppers once it's roasted and add that to the burrito or something, or the taco. Instead of salsa, because I do have some salsa and it's good. It's just the heat in it is just a little too much for me. I like it a little bit more mild, and I do like a lot of spice, not a lot of heat, but like low heat, high spice. It's just hard to find. So that's kind of what I've been searching for, is high spice, low heat. And so what I think is that to get there, you need to use the same, almost some of the same ingredients you would for high heat, but the capsaicin needs to break down a little bit. It needs to be roasted or sithered, roasted or sithered, so that you get the flavor of the pepper, but the capsaicin is sort of broken down a little bit. I don't know if it's possible, because there's not a lot out there on it, on how to cook or prepare peppers so that the capsaicin breaks down. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do. I know if you roast it so that it's like almost like black cooked, like a burnt kind of, the capsaicin will break down. But there must be a level that you can roast a pepper so that it gets cooked and roasted and broken down right before it would char. Right before you get that black char in it, where the capsaicin will break down and you'll get all this flavor without the high capsaicin. So you could eat, quite a bit of it without having to worry about, the heat content, as you eat it or something. And so that's kind of what I'm trying to do. And let's see, how much time do I have? What I'll do is, there's 1 minute left. I'm going to take one of these peppers out, and I'm just going to set it over here. I'll bring the camera over here. And what I'll do is I'll just try to cut it up. I didn't even take out any of the, and see, this is definitely still very, damp, and it's not that hot, and it's just kind of been, cooking low temperature in there. So these could actually stay in. I can smell the heat. I can smell the heat from this. This is going to be really spicy. So I just kind of have to, what I'll do is I'll set this timer again. And keep these going in there. And then what I'll do is I'll slice this pepper here, and I'll just kind of slice it and get some of the seeds out or whatnot, and kind of see how I'm doing. What I was thinking is, this should just pull out the stem of it. Should just, see, the stem sort of tears out, but the inside, right, is just still very it's still very fresh and stuff. So that's what I'll do, and it's going to be spicy. I know it's going to be spicy, but I'm sort of just kind of learning about how to do this. And what I'll do is I'll slice this, and I'll kind of get some of the and there's still a lot of moisture in there. It's very wet moisture coming out of it. And just kind of get these sliced here. And when I see seeds, I'll just kind of let the seeds kind of fall away. And I won't need that much. Yeah, I think, just having it in there a couple hours is not the best way. But I could have either gone up in temperature, or I could go longer in time. And I'll do about half of this. And get a paper towel. And then I'm basically just going to add it to, my standard, microwave taco burrito kind of thing. So I have some pork I've cooked already, and I'll get that out, and I gotta get some cheese. I got some shredded Mexican cheese, and I gotta go get the tortilla. So, one tortilla. And I feel like there's so many different styles of tacos and burritos and what's in it, what's not in it. What I've started doing when I kind of cook these at home is I can fold up into a large taco, but it kind of makes a mess. So what I do is I just lay it flat and microwave it. Just lay it flat and microwave it. And I have some sour cream and some salsa that I might use, but like I said, the salsa, there's too much heat for me in the salsa. So, so I'm just gonna add some of this pork that I cooked a few days ago and sort of shredded here. And just lay that on there. I don't want to get too much. I don't want to be too full. Sometimes, it feels like meat, pork, and beef, if you cook it at home, a small amount goes a long way. Which is always difficult to, it's difficult to gauge because, you want to cook a lot, and a lot of times you eat a lot, but then sometimes when you add it with all the other stuff, you say, well, I just need a few bites. I'm actually totally full on just a couple of bites, and then I don't really need to eat any more for maybe a little while, I haven't really figured out why that is. And for me, it's just pretty plain. It's just a little bit of cheese and pork and tortilla, And then I happened to see some peppers at the grocery store today, and I was like, why don't I just add some of those peppers? Now what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna microwave the peppers because I think they're still a little bit warm. They've been cooking. But I have a feeling that the method that I used did not break down the capsaicin in the pepper. So I don't know if I should microwave them or not. I'm gonna try one right now. I'm just gonna try a little bit of it and see how much heat there is. Yeah, they're still not really roasted quite very much. So there's not a lot of heat in that. It's been broken down a little bit. It's almost like it's sweet. Some of these peppers sometimes have heat and sometimes they don't. They're more, I don't think these are a real super hot pepper, but this pepper has definitely been sort of broken down. I'm gonna microwave some of the pieces on here. I'll do like half microwave and half not microwave, but there's not really any heat in that at all. And that's good because I think the last time I did this, there was a lot of heat on it. And I thought I roasted it about the same, so I'm not really sure. And then I'm just gonna microwave this, and then I'll have some sour cream, and I'm gonna see about salsa, but I'm gonna try not to add any salsa. And this just goes over here in the microwave. So it's real quick. The microwave's down here. Put a cover on it. And I'll set this up over here. And I'll get a little bit of sour cream. I'm gonna leave the other ones in there for a little while longer. I'll let some of that moisture evaporate, let it kind of roast a little bit longer. And this gets quite hot. It melts the cheese. You can see here it melts all the cheese, and those peppers are on there. And I'll get the other part of the peppers too. Just add a few. I'll try it with and without. But so far, there's not really any heat from these peppers at all after roasting them. Which kind of makes it a little bit more pleasant. You know, you never know what you're gonna get when you go to a restaurant or something. You get something, whether it's mild or medium, or you think it's mild, but it's actually a little bit more medium, or it's very spicy. And so I never really know what all the peppers are that are in it. And so, you know, if it's raw, if there's anything in it that's raw, that capsaicin is going to be a lot higher. So you can see what this looks like here. And we'll see how this is. What I really like about this is I don't have the worry or the concern about going through the meal and having the heat level just continue to rise so that it's uncomfortable to eat the food. You know, something with high heat, spice is good sometimes, but as I go through the meal or the dish, it becomes a concern as to how much heat, you know, will make it so that eating is uncomfortable. You know, I don't like eating if it's uncomfortable. So that's part of the reason that I'm interested in finding peppers that have high spice and low heat, because having a comfortable meal, I think, is just as important as having a flavorful meal, right? You want it to have a lot of flavor, a lot of spice, but the heat from the capsaicin just goes up and it's uncomfortable. So I think this is actually pretty good. I like the flavor. The meat's pretty good. It's just sort of a plain at-home taco, basically. I added a little bit of sour cream, and I do feel a little bit of that, sort of that dryness from the spice, from the pepper, and there's really no heat at all. So I think, even from what even if it was low and mild, say, oh, the pepper's really low, it's really mild. Once I roast them, I feel like there's just the heat goes way down for this type of a pepper. I'm sure other peppers, you know, it would take a lot more roasting or something to bring down that spice. So the heat in the spice. So anyhow, I hope you're doing good, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.